dear students, myself Gangadhar Solanke, and I welcome you all to the MCGM's virtual classroom.
My dear students, today in Standard 5th EVS Part 2, we'll be learning the topic from shelters to village settlements. Now we know the heading of our textbook is How We Came to Be. And in this topic, our first chapter was what is history. In that we learnt about the concept of history, definition of the history, then the scientific method of history, history and us, the past and the future. Then in the second chapter of this textbook, we discussed about history and the concept of time. In that, we learnt about division of time and the timeline, then common era, that is Christian era, time before the common or Christian era, then measurement of time and methods of measuring time, historical periods and scientific methods of measuring time and establishing age. Then in the third chapter, we learned about formation of the earth, beginning of life on the earth and the animal world on the earth. In that we learnt about the characteristics of the animals, and then in the fourth one, evolution, we discussed about the concept of evolution, then the stages of evolution of animals and apes. Then in the fifth chapter, we discussed about the evolution of mankind. In that, from Homo habilis to Homo sapiens sapiens and Homo sapiens sapiens and civilization. And the last chapter which we learned was Stone Age stone tools. In that chapter, we learnt about types and forms of tools according to the type of task. Stone Age tools. In that we learned that three ages: Old Stone Age or Paleolithic Age, Middle Stone Age or Mesolithic Age, New Stone Age or Neolithic Age. And now today in our topic from shelters to village settlements, we are going to learn about shelter, seasonal camps and village settlements. So basically in today's topic we are going to learn about the journey of man from wandering in the jungle towards the village settlements. Here on the screen now you people can see the points which we have to cover in this topic: shelter, seasonal camps and village settlements. Now one by one we will study this. In the fifth lesson, we saw that the Neanderthals lived mainly in caves and there were reasons behind that. At that time, the climate in Europe was extremely cold, and that's why the Neanderthals could protect themselves from the freezing temperature. By this word, you can understand the temperature, or you can understand the climatic condition of that period. It was extremely cold. Then also, Neanderthals could protect themselves from the freezing temperature because they wore leather clothing, started using leather. So wore leather clothing and made use of fire, so that it was easy for them to protect themselves from the freezing temperature. But that was not enough, and that is why they used animal hides to erect tents inside the caves for warmth. And wherever necessary, they also built huts in the open. So it was started here to start building houses. We can't use this word building, but they started preparing the things for making hut. Here on the screen now you can see a warm 2-room tent erected by Neanderthal man inside a cave. And this is from France. एक तो केव है और केव के अंदर ये घर बनाया हुआ है ताकि केव की वजह से तो जो क्लाइमेटिक कंडीशंस है उससे बचाव हो सकता था, जो कि एक्सट्रीमली कोल्ड एटमॉस्फेयर था, क्लाइमेट था, उससे बचाव हो जाएगा। और दूसरी बात, उन्होंने ये बनाया भी है टेंट सो दैट इट वाज easy for them to protect from the cold climatic conditions. And now the next point, seasonal camps. Now it is in the world only, seasonal camps. जैसे जैसे सीज़न चेंज होता जाएगा, क्लाइमेटिक कंडीशंस बदलती जाएंगी, तो एक जगह पे रहना was not possible and that's why they were moving from one place to another place. जैसे अभी हमें छुट्टियाँ लगती है, वैकेशन होता है और समर कैंप पे हम जाते हैं, विच इज़ काइंड ऑफ पिकनिक, या फिर चेंज चाहिए हमें हमारी डेली रूटीन से, बट इट वॉज नॉट सेम इन द हिस्ट्री वेयर वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द seasonal camps. Because of the worst climatic conditions, we can say, it was not easy for the human beings to stay at one place. According to the changing nature, according to the changing climatic conditions, they need to move from one place to another place where it will be very comfortable for them or easy to live. So in the Middle Stone Age, groups of Homo sapiens had established camps all over the world. All over the world. With changing environment, the diet of Homo sapiens was also undergoing change. Now, what happened when Homo sapiens had established camps all over the world? At that time, the climate was getting warmer. Climate was getting warmer, and just now we discussed about the extremely cold climate, and now here climate is changing. Climate was getting warmer. Everywhere the environment was changing, and with it the diet of Homo sapiens was also undergoing change. With the changing climatic conditions, the diet of the Homo sapiens also changing. So today we are having number of things in our diet. तो ये सारी एक जर्नी है, ये सारी एक डेवलपमेंट है जो इस तरह से शुरू हुई है, एंड टुडे वी आर हैविंग नंबर ऑफ थिंग्स इन आवर डाइट. Next thing on the screen, you can see the seasonal camp of Homo sapiens. By observing this picture, you can understand number of things. Here they are using fire, then kids practicing for the hunting, here the leather, here fishing, here boat. So these are the things related with the seasonal camps. By the time of the Middle Stone Age, now we people learnt about this New Stone Age, Middle Stone Age and Old Stone Age. So by the time of the Middle Stone Age, big animals like mammoths were on the way to extinction. जैसे dinosaurs. So the big animals like mammoths were on the way to extinction due to the changing environment. Due to the changing environment, and also because they were on hunting large scale. Hunted on very large scale. जैसे एटमॉस्फेयर चेंज हो जाता है, अभी देखो गर्मी जैसे बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ेगी तो कुछ लोग उसके साथ एडजस्ट नहीं कर पाते हैं, ठंडी बहुत ज़्यादा होती है तो कुछ लोग उसके साथ एडजस्ट नहीं हो पाते हैं. तो इन द हिस्ट्री ऑल्सो ऐसे बहुत सारे फेजेस आए कि एटमॉस्फेयर या क्लाइमेट बहुत ज़्यादा चेंज होता गया और जिसके साथ बहुत सारे एनिमल्स एडजस्ट नहीं कर पाए. जैसे यहाँ पर लिखा है देखो, big animals like mammoths were on the way to extinction due to the changing environment. They couldn't adjust with the changing environment, and that is what is the struggle for existence. वो exist नहीं कर पाए, and that is why became extinct. And also one more reason behind this, because they were hunted on a very large scale. Now the mammoth was an ancestor of the elephant. However, he was much bigger in size compared to the elephant. You can compare these two images and can understand the difference between the mammoth and the elephant. Next thing, Homo sapiens had largely turned to fishing. He also began to depend more on hunting smaller animals like the wild boar, deer, mountain goat and sheep. Today in our diet, we people are having these things like the goat and chicken. Next point, again on the screen you can see the image which is from our textbook, a reconstruction of a seasonal camp, middle stone age. जब एक जगह से दूसरी जगह आते हैं तो उन्हें फिर से रिकन्स्ट्रक्ट करना पड़ता था, फिर यहाँ से कहीं और जाएंगे, फिर वहाँ से कहीं और जाएंगे. Then they have to prepare themselves for the changing season and to arrange the things again and again. The changed diet pattern enabled the groups of Homo sapiens to roam to far away regions. They moved their camps to different places according to seasonal changes, and there they harvested seasonal wild grains and gathered seasonal fruits and roots. Now three things which they had: wild grains, fruits and roots. They would find out the best seasons for fishing and use the knowledge to their advantage. Here it was started to keep record about the places, about the things, about the change in the climatic conditions and the places which are easy for hunting or for fishing. So by observation they discovered the best hunting grounds where they could hunt easily, such places. So these people keep recorded all these things, and which became then easy for them to settle at one place or to move at the same place when there is change in the climate. For these reasons they stayed in one place for longer periods. Nowadays we people are in one house for many years or in a village for many years. So this thing started here. These reasons, because they had the fruits and the roots and the wild grains and also the places, best places we can say for hunting and for fishing. That's why they started staying at one place. एक ही जगह पर रहना उन्होंने start किया. Not only this, they cleared jungles by felling trees and set up their seasonal camps in the clearings, as like on the screen you can see in this image. Reconstruction of village settlement, new stone age. Now here if you people observe this carefully, you can see the growing crops and the man going for the hunting, then river is close by for fishing. So this is what kind of settling down or kind of settlement, and this became village settlement because many people came together and started living at one place, and which became village then. We have to talk in detail about this in the next chapters. Now the next point, the beginning of cultivation is a characteristic of the culture of the new stone age, and this thing totally changed the human life. The beginning of cultivation, like if we compare human being with the other animals, बाकी कोई भी एनिमल नहीं है कि जो ह्यूमन बींग्स की तरह कल्टिवेशन करते हैं, वो अपना अपना जो मिलता है वो खाते हैं. बट वेयर ह्यूमन्स started, or we can say discovered, or beginning of cultivation is a characteristics, because this one is the thing because of which human being could settle at one place. And today also it is totally depend on the cultivation. So the beginning of cultivation is a characteristic of the कल्चर ऑफ द न्यू स्टोन एज, क्योंकि कल्टीवेशन की वजह से क्या हुआ, लोगों को खाना मिलना इजी हो गया, आसान हो गया, एंड दैट्स वाई ये नीड नहीं रही कि एक जगह से दूसरी जगह जाना है. वहीं पर वो कल्टीवेशन कर सकते थे, वहीं पर उन्हें जो चाहिए वो ज़मीन में उगा सकते थे और रह सकते थे, क्योंकि मेन खाने की जो चीज़ें हैं वो उससे मिल सकती थी. सो द बिगिनिंग ऑफ कल्टीवेशन इज़ अ कैरेक्टरिस्टिक of the culture of the new stone age. The way of life of humans in the new stone age was completely different from that of humans in the old stone age and middle stone age. Why it was completely different? Because during this period, humans became producers of food grains. And the beginning of cultivation is a characteristic of the culture of the new stone age. So in the hunting and gathering way of life, it is necessary to keep moving all the time. But agriculture makes it possible. Agriculture makes it possible to store food and use it over a longer period. ये सबसे important चीज़ है in the history of human being, and you people have to understand this. जैसे बाकी एनिमल्स की तरह ह्यूमन बीइंग भी एक जगह से दूसरी जगह, दूसरी से तीसरी जगह विद द चेंजिंग क्लाइमेट कंडीशंस घूमते थे, फिरते थे इन सर्च ऑफ फूड, वो बंद हो गया बिकॉज ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर. एंड दैट इज़ वाई इट इज़ गिवन इन आवर टेक्स्ट बुक दैट in the hunting and gathering way of life, it is necessary to keep moving. But agriculture makes it possible to store food so that they can be there for longer period. क्योंकि खाना तो मिलने ही वाला है. And hence there is no need to keep moving constantly. And if we talk in detail about this, then the moreover the nature of agricultural work made it necessary to stay in one place, and therefore people established permanent village settlements and lived in them generation after generation. Now if we people talk about our native place or about our village, then we can also find this, our generations are being there for long time. जैसे हमारे पापा, फिर पापा के पापा, फिर पापा के पापा, फिर पापा के पापा, ये जनरेशन से हम एक ही विलेज में रहते आ रहे. अभी काम की तलाश में, इन सर्च ऑफ ऑक्यूपेशन और इन सर्च ऑफ एनी other facilities like education, health and many more things, we are moving from our villages. But basically we all are from the village settlements, because we people are directly or indirectly dependent on the agriculture. So people established permanent village settlements and lived in them generation after generation. And this is how from shelters to village settlements journey started of the human being. So in this chapter today, we learnt about the shelter, then seasonal camps and village settlements. In the next chapter, we shall review the social organization and the culture of these village settlements, because we know once people started living together for longer period at one place, then the customs and traditions started. Please subscribe the channel and press bell icon to get notifications.
So my dear ones, this is all for today. Thank you very much. Stay home, stay safe, take care.